All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dr. Stone, Season 1, Episode 9. All right, we are going to colonize this village with the power of ramen.
Ramen, indeed.
Ramen.
And, but of course, Senku has tried the ramen and is disgusted by it because it is nowhere near up to modern standards. But
of course.
For people that have never tasted it, it's
practically
miraculous.
It's going to be like a gift from the gods,
basically.
Yes. The question is more, how quickly will people start throwing paranoia and superstitions onto Senku because he kind of fits into the Chrome kind of style of like social pariah, you know.
And as we know, 50 village people can't be wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, they're also going to have an experience, and you can't argue with an experience.
Indeed. Yes.
Which is something to say with regards to almost the religious aspect of this village and how they do have some like regard for Ruri.
Yep. And it's related to, yes, she is in fact the story keeper, the keeper of knowledge and lore and the tales of times past. Mm-hmm. So maybe this will mean that Senku is a prophet of some sort.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. Okay, we have now been encountered by Asagiri Gen, who was a spy scout of sorts, their charisma-based character.
Trickster and all that.
Mentalist, who basically came to check out where they are and what they were doing. Because I'm guessing what it is that Tsukasa probably found out where they were. But it's like, that's a lot of effort to go all the way over there and see what that village is doing. And it's like, give me an update on them. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go back because I want to join them, actually, and be like, yeah, it's just a primitive encampment.
Yep, nothing to worry about.
Nothing crazy going on there.
Yeah.
And Senku is dead.
Right.
Now, Asagiri again doesn't have to do that, but I think he's going to stick around here until he's pretty well convinced. Yeah, I think he is convinced at this point.
I think at this point he's convinced. So that's pretty impressive.
Right, they got their iron, and I forgot that, yes, the next step would be we need to get the powerful magnets and then produce electricity.
Yeah.
So with getting electricity, it basically leads them to then being able to produce certain elements or what have you, certain ground up rocks, essentially, that they can then use in their process to making the cure-all drug, antibiotics, for sure. And we've got ourselves the little roadmap up here so that we can see that and take a look at it here.
So the next one is going to be sodium hydroxide, unless they want to start making like vinegar or carbonic acid from alcohol, since they do have that.
Right, and being able to make sodium hydroxide, which I'm guessing is sodium, water, and then oxidation is the process by which they're using the sodium.
I have no idea.
But basically it then leads to a cycle with which takes them all the way to
sodium bicarbonate and sodium hydrogen sulfate. Sodium hydrogen sulfate goes up to sulfuric acid, which then hydrochloric acid and chlorosulfuric acid, and basically a bunch of different things that are all important.
Right, but basically they combine that with salt in order to make things go in a specific direction there. So then they can synthesize a lot of the things that they need in order to put into the antibiotic. Which that's going into all the chemistry stuff that I'm not really aware of at all. But it's pretty awesome that this was something that they're able to do here.
It really is science, bitch. The anime.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, when so electricity is definitely probably the most exciting of all the ones listed on here.
Right.
The other ones are kind of like salt is cool.
Like, it'll become exciting as they explain it to us.
Right, but a lot of it is definitely more on the nerdy side, where like anybody can get behind like seeing a light bulb. Right. Like that's something that'll wow pretty much anybody. But I'm curious to see if they stick with going through all of these steps with the same level of detail that they did here.
I think they will, because one of these things that seems rather interesting is that a lot of these are acids, And acids in and of themselves are terrifying when you think about what they can do in their raw, like,
they're kind of
unfiltered form.
Kind of hard to handle.
Yeah,
shall we say?
Yeah, we don't have plastic in this world, so
right.
That was one of the things that's kind of blowing my mind. Was like, oh right, yeah, they'd have to put their metal and cast it into wood.
Yep,
which is like, wait, what?
All right, yeah.
Isn't it like ridiculously hot at this point? But
well, I guess
what they have to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
But and now that they have electricity, like it's probably something where now that they have this, then it's okay. How can we make it so that we can use electricity for a lot of the other things that we needed, in order to do this stuff, so that they can start making a bunch of other things. But like, man,
yeah, they've got their production line set up for a lot of things to be used in the future there.
Yep. Like,
and in a lot of ways, this is aided by the fact that Chrome had the sensibilities and the curiosity enough to gather all these raw materials.
Yep.
Not only like identify that they were unique raw materials, do little mini experiments on them because he has the scientific mind to, test all things and what have you, then end up individually categorizing them by their specific bits there.
Right.
And then keeping them all here because he knows that they're going to be valuable at some point.
Right. And then that combined with the fact that then Senku can come along and properly identify them and apply them. Yeah. Because, other than just being like, oh, yeah, this is a really nice rock that always points towards north. Or
this rock burns green. You know?
This rock is really hard. You know? Like, so it's pretty crazy. I just have this image in my head, though, of like Tsukasa being all like, Senku's dead. Good. And then he's going around hunting at one point, and he just looks into the distance at night, and he sees
a bunch of mountain or something,
and he sees a bunch of electric lights, and he's like, Asagiri, anything you want to tell me? Like,
I didn't.
What are you talking about? So there's a village that
they're pretty far away.
They're
pretty far away. So it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah. But imagine if someone did see, because anyone who did see this at night, whether they were part of the village or not, like if they see it, they're going to be like, "What in the bloody hell is that?"
Right. Thankfully, this was done at the equivalent of a lake level. So this is well below any kind of elevated point,
and there's lots of hills in the area to make it so the line of sight isn't very good, and everything.
Trees and what have you. It's fine. It's not going to be. It's not going to be something that anyone really far away would notice.
Right? Because what's the distance that, like, because of the curvature of the Earth, like horizon only goes out like 4 miles usually if you're on a level field or something like that.
It's a ridiculously low amount there, and even then, the amount of the amount of light that one light bulb would be able to cast wouldn't be enough. Because, when you're in an area where there's like a city beyond the horizon or what have you, a city creates that little hum of light that you see like right along the horizon there. But that's a city. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times more light than this one light bulb.
But I love the effect that they did of basically showing the whole, like, it felt very what's that old movie, Deck the Halls, where it's like you show the planet and then you show the light on the planet, and it's like, okay, would the light actually show up on the planet?
No, it's symbolic.
But it's symbolic. But the thing is that it's also the idea that because the night has not been lit other than maybe by a campfire for the past 3,700 years.
Right.
So this is huge. Like, all the animals are like, the hell? Like,
Nani, what is that?
Like, this, oh man, this is pretty exciting.
It's exciting because it brings beauty into the simpler things.
Yes.
The things that we've all taken for granted over the course of our lives. We have all these modern technologies and conveniences that we don't really appreciate as much because we don't know, one, how they work a lot of the time, but two, we don't know what the world would be like without those things. We can't really imagine it.
Yeah, like, we can maybe entertain the idea, but we wouldn't know what that means.
So think about the inverse, is imagine a world without it, where suddenly this thing that you never knew was possible was brought in a rapid method, like in a rapid way.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. So the fact that we went from ramen and iron to electricity and magnets.
Yeah.
What are they going to do in the first 25 episodes or what have you of this show? Like, Like, it's gonna be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I hope that they can remain a peaceful civilization for the most part, so they don't have to waste their time developing weapons of science or technology or what have you. So yeah. But okay. Asagiri again is the new character, and yep, he does have his like charisma stat as being his main one there. He is also quite helpful at diffusing conflicts.
Yes.
By using some sleight of hand, which I love that, because it's the kind of thing where they're like, yes, we have concluded as a village that Chrome is a sorcerer.
Right.
He does magic. We don't necessarily see him as an enemy.
Right.
We just know that his magic is something we don't understand. So if someone comes along and says, the magic actually is going to stop this, and they're like, no, it wouldn't do that.
Way.
All they have to do is showcase
something that they don't understand.
Remind you that the magic we are doing is real, or what have you. And then they're like, oh, okay, you must be telling the truth.
And now that they've seen the light, literally.
Yeah. Now it might get even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be really exciting.
It's one of those things where, like, okay, seeing them do, like, stuff with stone and things like that, it's like, all right, that's cool. And granted, the practical applications of what they can do with this light so far, not very much, given the limitations of their generator and everything, right? But as far as how it will influence the village and what it means for them as a milestone,
right?
It's ridiculous.
Quite so.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yep. We've got ourselves a situation where they are utilizing all the elements that Chrome has brought up. They are now getting another ally into the mix here.
Yep.
They have not only utilized the results from the previous episode by working everyone to the bone with their enticing food source.
Yeah.
We now have potentially allies within the village that will help them continue the production of the things that we discovered, so to speak, or figured out how to make happen in the past. Which means that those become passives, which in civilization building terms means that you can reliably count on those things being produced given X amount of time.
Right.
And once that becomes your biggest problem, is that you're just working on time. Everything just scales ridiculously.
Yeah, Tsukasa will be like, in the past 5 years, I've, gotten 60 or whatever, people that I've rescued from petrification, and now they are my loyal servants and subjects. Meanwhile, Senku's like, in the past 5 years, I've got steel, I've got, electricity for the village, and, guns. Like, I mean, theoretically, if it came to a fight.
I don't think we're going to jump 5 years ahead anytime soon.
I don't either.
I think we've slowed down the pacing to where we're showing what can be done in days.
Right.
With applied, uninterrupted science done cooperatively. And that's probably the thing that gets me the most excited about this show's future, is that you can only have so many characters you get to focus on, right? Eventually, you get saturated, and certain characters are the only really main focus characters. Right now, Kohaku, Chrome, and Senku are kind of the main new three, right?
Yeah.
It's a kind of a new Taiju and Yuzuriha dynamic with Senku.
Yep.
And that's cool. That's great. But that means in a lot of ways that when these other characters come up, they kind of have to serve the gimmick, if you will, of their archetype.
Sure.
But if we spend our time plot-wise basically saying, yeah, we accept that they're archetypes and gimmick characters for now, because we're going to have them all in their archetypal ways reacting to the craziness that Senku does, that means we can ridiculously move quickly with regards to the technological advances that they do before we get to any kind of heavy plot kind of civilization versus civilization conflict.
Exactly. It makes things a lot simpler, like 10 billion% simpler.
Yeah, for sure. We had ourselves a lot of little throwaway kind of comedy bits with the golden spear being taken, and he's just like,
just absolutely destroyed.
We had Asagiri again proving his worth, basically, as he can be a worthy ally.
Yep.
We also had just great little funny moments where the two leaders came to the main leader or what have you, and were like, they made food.
Can we go?
Can we go have food with you?
Yeah,
yeah. They didn't seem like they were really saying that, but like we kind of read between the lines. They were like, it smells really freaking good over there.
Yeah.
Can we all go? Like, why would we go? To eat.
Yeah. One of the other things that I really appreciated is how like they brought up the whole harem thing.
Yep.
But then of the thing of like, whoa, this is really good food. What kind of girls do you like? The ones who can pump air really fast into the iron smelter. Like, and then what's a harem? You don't need to know about.
Yeah, children, you don't need to know about that.
Yeah. Oh man,
it shows the dynamic of each character having that other side to them.
Right.
That's like a little contradiction to their character. Like Senku, yeah, he's a good boy. He cares about people. But he also gets like sadistically evil when he thinks about the idea of slave labor.
Yeah, he's very utilitarian. But it's also something where it's basically introducing the idea of harem because Senku is practically a god in this world, given everything that he can do.
And eventually he will probably end up just having people just be like, how can we serve you?
Exactly.
And it makes sense. Like,
because it's effective.
It's effective.
Yeah.
And it will probably start with people like, you know, how it has with Chrome, you know, for instance.
Yes. But so bringing that up and then having him be like, no, like instantly cutting it down, but then also being like, hey, if you really want to be a harem from here or whatever, just pump air into there.
Work hard.
Yeah, work hard. Like, oh man.
It's good fun.
Yep.
Asagiri again, I feel like is going to be an ally and not as subversive as he kind of brought kind of heirs to. Because he was trying to, I would say, bluster himself a little bit. But if we take him as the actual mentalist, I think all he's trying to do is basically do the evolutionary kind of thing of like, I'm puffing my chest up to make me seem like a threat, which will then make you respect me and take me seriously. But in a lot of ways,
my own standing in life, but it's not that I'm particularly antagonistic.
Right. In fact, in a lot of ways, I could see him actually becoming one of the best allies for Senku.
Oh, yeah.
Senku has like very little charisma when it comes down to the persuasiveness. I think it's more in action rather than word that he has his natural charisma, because he has the mystery of his intelligence.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, intelligence ends up ending with you having great stats all around if you play your cards right.
Because you're playing your cards right.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So that's cool. We still have to find out what's going to happen when Tsukasa gets the report, though, because Asagiri needs to go back eventually.
Right.
When he does that, it'll be a cool way for us to see, like, you know, Taiju and Yuzuriha and Tsukasa, and then maybe how many people they've got already. And that's something that's exciting because it's been a while since we've caught up with them. And then in a lot of ways, Asagiri can be that perspective that goes back and forth.
Right.
In that there could be a moment where Tsukasa's like, why do you keep leaving? And he's like, I found a very attractive woman. And it's like,
show me.
I don't know if he would actually really care too much about that, but he's like, well then I want you to entice some of them to come over here. And it could be a thing where they end up actually having trade happen without ever knowing that Senku is actually still making this crazy place over here.
Hey, could we rent Taiju for a second? Because we have some work for him. You know?
Wink, wink. We need that
legitimately, like he could probably do the work of two people on the bellows.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. We have also all these very available women in the village that are distraught with the lack of great male options in the village.
So then Tsukasa comes along and they just swoon immediately.
Yeah, that could be the whole thing, is that it's like, hey, you know, there are other fish in the sea.
And then Senku loses a bunch of his workforce.
Well,
he needs to fight Tsukasa to be like, hey,
I'm
stop
just meaning
it,
like, you tell them about that, and then it's a thing of like, hey, would you like to go meet other people?
Yeah.
It's not saying like
we can
they have to do anything. But yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, they might be primitive, but they have decent meals, and it could be like,
oh yeah. Asagiri comes back, and Tsukasa's like, your breath, it smells of ramen.
That would be funny. Like he like intentionally like has to go like to
like eat regular food first,
just go to like a lake or what have you with dirty water and like gargle it, and then and then he's like, like did you like like he misses like a noodle bit that's like stuck between his teeth, and he's like, something in between your teeth there, and he's like, what? Oh yeah, it was a bit of an eel, or something,
right?
Hey, rope? Wait, what? That's actually the other thing that's going to be rather funny, is that all these characters will learn words that if they just casually just say them around people that are in the know about these things, that can get back
raise
to
some attention. Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Also, potentially having Ruri end up recognizing things that some of her predecessors or what have you would have passed on to her.
Sure.
For regarding telling stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
that could
a
be
good
the
point.
way in which they bridge the gap between the village and the science nation.
That could totally be what it is, because she sees the light. Like,
sure.
And then it's like, oh, that's a thing. Yeah.
You
don't need to go into the village
from the ancestors.
Right, exactly.
Like maybe that's the things that she kind of, because of the way things have changed over the years with regards to how they would tell the story, she kind of has this moment of like, oh, you are a chosen one, and it's like like, yeah, I'm a chosen one, whatever. Let's all work. Let's get this going.
Where you're able-bodied people with high stamina.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. But anyway, this is a fun episode. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there, and we have made a huge leap ahead technologically for our goal towards making antibiotics. So, thank you all for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on, you can watch, I can't speak, this is weird, but you can watch,
next episode is on there right now in early access, and then there's full lengths too.
Yeah, full length timer reactions there as well. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. We got our stuff there. And you can also talk with Jacob about a sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. So I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's really cool. It's called Battle Lines. And it's awesome, and it's available for purchase on the Bezos-kun's site in the description down below. If you want to go check that out, it's awesome. Go for it.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all sometime later, Yeah.